What's up, everyone? My name is Brian Drolet, and welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Movies podcast. Now, today I'm going to be giving you some of the latest in movie news, so let's just jump right in. So, are you a fan of the Extraction movies? Extraction 1 was received pretty well on Netflix. Chris Hemsworth, he's a great action star, let's face it. He's got a franchise outside of the Marvel Universe that people seem to really enjoy. The director, the sequel's about to come out, and he said he already has an idea for part 3. So if you're a fan of Extraction, you got a sequel coming out, and potentially you got a third one on the way. But Chris Hemsworth has said, actually ever since he learned that he was predisposed and likely to potentially get Alzheimer's, not definitely, but on his reality show where he's traveling and studying science and, learning all this stuff, he apparently had a doctor evaluate him and say that he was likely to potentially get it, or more likely than the average person, which made him really take a step back and go, you know what, I'm going to take a break from acting. I'm going to focus on my family life. And so apparently after his latest movie, that's his plan, is to step back. But the director said he will wait until Chris Hemsworth is ready to get back on set to make the third one. So if you're a fan of those movies, you got a new one coming out and potentially a third one in the future. So let's move on. The new Batman movie. There is some movement and some news with Batman. Batman, which is apparently called The Brave and the Bold, kind of sounds like a soap opera, to be totally honest with you. Batman, how could you cheat on me with my cousins, sisters, wives, husbands, daughters, aunts, dentist? And Robin's like, I didn't do that. It's not really me. I'm your ex-wife, Veronica. I don't know what I'm talking about, but Brave and the Bold. Bold and the Brave. Brave and the Bold. Batman, Brave, Bold. It's a lot of B's. BBB. Big baller brand. All right, let's get back on track here, Brian. So the director who is, directing The Flash, his name is Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti. You know, when he was younger, they were calling him the Moosh, right? What up, Moosh? Moosh! Moosh gonna be there? I'm only going if Moosh goes. Moosh! Or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But Andy Muschietti. He directed the upcoming Flash movie that's coming out. People are very excited about this. Not because Ezra Miller, okay, we have to deal with Ezra Miller, but because Michael Keaton is back as Batman. Trailer looks amazing. Everybody's saying it's such a good film. It has to be a good film for them to have overlooked the star basically kidnapping people and being bonkers crazy for a year to still put it out. Clearly it must be good. I also find it funny that, Ezra wants to be called a they, and there's 2 of him in the movie. It's perfect. It's perfect. So all those people that are like, they is plural. Well, there's 2 of him in this movie, so I hear they do a great job. But anyways, rumors are circulating that Andy Muschietti, that Moosh is going to potentially direct Batman Bold and Brave, Brave and Bold, first of all, the rumors is because he was asked about what he would do about Batman movie outside of this movie, and he said, I can't comment on that, ... yet. Come on, buddy, you know what you're doing. You're going to make some people turn their heads. I was just checking something on the camera there. We look good. So, can't comment on it yet. Why can't you comment, Andy? Why can't you comment? Yet? What does that mean? You got something coming? So, speculations out there. Is he going to, is he going to direct? Is he not going to direct the new Batman? I personally find it a little bit odd just because, he just, I feel like whoever's going to do that shouldn't have just directed Batman's of old, but maybe he does such a great job with these Batmans and the different Batmans, because Ben Affleck's in the Flash movie as well. Maybe that gave them the confidence to be like, okay, he can now do his magic with this new iteration. So who knows? Maybe Moosh is, gonna do a fabulous job, and I apologize for calling you the Moosh, Andy, but it sounds like a good nickname, and I feel like that's what people must have called you back in the day. I don't know. You hear Moosh is directing Batman? Get out of here, Moosh! Who ate like 10 Big Macs one night at Sandy's house? Yeah, that Moosh. Wow, okay. Anyway, I should move on. All right. Arnold Schwarzenegger explains why he is not in Expendables 4. He was in the first three. Arnold said, look, I did the first one as a favor to Sly. It was one day, right? Then they want him for part 2. I showed up. I did another favor. It was 2 days, right? Then they were like, listen, we're going to make a third one. And Schwarzenegger was like, look, I do the third one, that's it. He's done with the Expendables. He doesn't want to expand on his Expendables role. He feels expendable. But yeah, so he's out. And what I find funny is he says, look, I did everything you could do with that character. I don't know. Every time I talk about Schwarzenegger, I have to do his accent. But he's like, I did everything you could do with that character. Is it me or has he been playing the same character in every movie forever? You know what I mean? Like, he's always Arnold. So I find it funny him being like, I did that character already. Oh, yeah. So now you're just going to go do another movie where you're an action star. Like, I don't know. But, hey, he did 3 of them. So I feel like if you do 3 movies, you're good to say, look, I'm good on the 4th one, especially when you're as big of a star as Arnold. But he did say, me and Sly will work on something together in the future and make many more movies and never be expendable. Okay, so Halle Bailey. It's funny. I kept saying recently, like, oh, I can't believe there's another actress, especially a black actress named, but I was thinking Halle Berry. It's Bailey. Halle Bailey. So that messed up my mind there. But Halle Bailey, a lot of controversy around The Little Mermaid, but it is doing fantastic at the box office, apparently. It beat out, what's the movie that was crushing? Beat out Fast X, finally took Mario off the throne. So it's doing great. I think it has with critics like a 67%. It was at 68. I think it went down to 67, which is still, fresh. It's not rotten. But apparently the audience score is like at a 95%. So, and I know people that have seen it. My one buddy, he didn't like, they got rid of some songs from the original. And he's like a big song person. He's like, the new songs that they put in kind of stick out because they're not as good as the other ones. But he's like, it's pretty good though. I would check it out. He didn't like the King character, the father maybe. He said it was the weakest part of it. But listen, I personally am all about this movie because I don't like that people are up in arms because they cast an African American actress. So what? Okay, if they're gonna remake 100 Disney movies and everyone's got a white person or a white lead, mix it up a little. Come on, give me some spice, some flavor. Give me something a little bit different, okay? Who cares if she's a redhead or not? Maybe the redheads are pissed. The redheads are like, look, because redheads don't get a lot of love, all right? They're just like, look, don't take our redhead. Take one of these brunette or blonde bitches, okay? But no, I'm rooting for this movie. I want to see it. I look forward to seeing it. So go support that movie. And I think actually IMDb had to give a disclaimer because people were what they call review bombing it in a negative way. Because this movie's like a lot of Disney movies that have a gay character or they switch a white role for a different role. They just get all this backlash from people just hating on it and going online, which is frustrating as a filmmaker and a creative artist because you're not getting judged for your art. You're just getting judged for political reasons that are outside of your control. And you shouldn't have to make and cast your movie based off what the angry mob, is upset about this week. So I say go support that movie. Halle Bailey says that actually Brandy's, the pop artist, Cinderella was a big inspiration for her in the Little Mermaid role. And it gave her the belief that she could aspire to things like that one day. So I think it's important for people to see themselves where they, because I remember that was a big thing for me when I was a kid. If somebody like came from my town, or I remember there was this guy from my high school that became an actor, And it made me think it was possible because somebody from where I was from became that. So I think it's important for kids. Go support it. Let me know what you think. Moving on. Martin Scorsese. He's known for these gangster movies, these, dark mobster things. But he is making a movie about Jesus. And he says he is doing this because the Pope asked him to. Imagine that. So the Pope was like, look, I want a screenplay about Jesus. And Scorsese was like, I gotcha. He's on it. So apparently he made a movie called The Temptation of the Christ that came out in 1998 starring William Dafoe. I kind of vaguely I don't really remember it. But apparently, it was well received, I'm sure. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But do you think they got the reviews in and it was really low and they're like, Jesus Christ, people don't like that topic. See what I did there? Okay, anyways, don't use the Lord's name in vain. Martin, I hope you make a great movie. Moving on, guys, moving on. So here's an interesting story. Kevin Feige confirmed recently in an interview that Robert Downey Jr., who is so famous for playing Iron Man, was actually first almost cast in the 2005 Fantastic Four movie as the villain Doctor Doom. Wow, can you imagine, Robert Downey Jr. not being Iron Man? That's so hard to imagine because he's such a great Iron Man. And Iron Man, if you guys remember, launched the Marvel universe. It was the first major Marvel movie that was it was just so good. It was so good. It was really good too at that time because if you remember, 9/11 was only 4 years prior, and Iron Man was about this guy that was like, yo, F the Middle East and terrorism, and he built this suit and went over there and just messed them all up. So I think it was really primal. The nation was upset about terrorism more than ever, and to see a hero, I remember the soundtrack when he's in the suit. It was just badass. It was great. The villain didn't feel cartoony, and it felt like a real villain in the world that we were taking down. So props to Jon Favreau, one of my favorite directors. I always talk about him on this podcast. Highlighted Rudy, a movie that he was in last week or the week before. So really, really cool to know the behind the scenes. And actually, Jon Favreau said that once Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Iron Man, everything else fell into place, like Gwyneth Paltrow, what's the guy's name? Jeff Bridges, Kelly Clarkson. Reference, 40-year-old version. Anyways, but yeah, so everything else fell into place because people were like, oh, now that Robert Downey Jr. is in this, they kind of see the movie. They are excited to be in it. And that's how it works with a lot of these movies. That's why people always try to get a big star attached because it lures in other stars. It makes other people want to be a part of the project. So like, yo, they got RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. And guys, that's really all I want to talk about today because, we can only make these videos so long. How much movie news can you take in one sitting? You guys got things to do. You got movies to watch, popcorn to eat. Come back next time for more Let's Talk Movies. Thanks for watching.